What if everything you believed about your brain, about wolves, and about the very first animals to walk on land was suddenly proven wrong? This week, scientists delivered a flood of discoveries that rewrite old stories. From new hope for your memory to a quantum magic trick, from ancient human relatives still shaping your health to a crisis hitting millions of middle-aged Americans, this is your curated science recap. By the end, you'll understand why today's research is turning multiple fields upside down. Let's dive in. A massive new study tracked nearly 4,000 adults from age 19 to 94 for 3 years, and the findings shatter a stubborn myth. Participants who spent just a few minutes a day on brain training activities, puzzles, memory games, problem-solving tasks, showed measurable improvements in thinking clarity, emotional well-being, and even their sense of purpose. Incredibly, the gains held true for people in their 90s. The idea that mental decline is inevitable with age? This research says no. Your brain can keep improving at any age. But this wasn't the only study to flip the script on brain aging. In a related discovery, learning a musical instrument later in life might physically protect your memory. A 4-year study found older adults who stuck with music lessons maintained their memory performance and experienced less age-related brain shrinkage compared to those who quit. The benefits were especially noticeable in the hippocampus and other memory centers. So whether it's brain training, learning a new language, or picking up the piano, actively engaging your mind seems to build a buffer against time. Simple, hopeful, and completely within your power. Now, from the resilient brain to an ecological story that just took a big hit. For decades, the reintroduction of wolves to Yellowstone has been a celebrated tale of nature's power to heal itself. The famous trophic cascade narrative claimed that wolves reduced elk numbers, which allowed willow and aspen to regrow, stabilized riverbanks, and even changed the flow of rivers, a textbook example of how predators shape ecosystems. But a new reanalysis, published this week, challenges that picture. Researchers say the original study relied on flawed methods that overstated the wolf effect. When they carefully redid the analysis, they found no evidence for a dramatic, park-wide surge in willow growth. Instead, the ecological changes appear smaller and vary from place to place. This doesn't mean wolves had no impact, but the clean, Hollywood ending just got a lot messier. It's a powerful reminder that in science, even the most beloved stories must face new evidence and sometimes be scaled back. From rewriting ecosystems to bending the rules of light in the quantum realm. Here's a deceptively simple question: what would happen if you tried to break a photon in half? According to a mathematical model released this week, attempting to sever a fundamental particle of light could spontaneously generate brand new particles out of what we consider empty space. It's as if the universe refuses to let you split light. Instead, the energy of the attempt triggers quantum fluctuations that conjure up fresh photons or even other particles from the vacuum. The model shows deep connections between energy, matter, and the impossibility of isolating a single half-photon. This isn't just a thought experiment, it illustrates the strange, counterintuitive nature of quantum fields. Next time someone tells you nothing comes from nothing, you can point them to a photon and say, well, maybe something does, and it's backed by math. Our ancient cousins, the Denisovans, are still making house calls inside your immune system. A sweeping new analysis of genomes from populations across the Pacific has uncovered that our ancestors interbred with at least 3 separate Denisovan groups, not just one. These encounters tens of thousands of years ago left genetic variants that remain active in modern humans today, particularly influencing how our bodies fight disease. The Denisovans were a mysterious human relative known from only a few fossils in Siberia and a jawbone in Tibet, but their legacy lives on in the DNA of people with ancestry from Oceania, East Asia, and the Americas. This study shows that ancient human encounters aren't just history, they're literally written into your body's defense against pathogens. So the next time your immune system successfully fights off an infection, you might have a Denisovan to thank. Now, speaking of your mind, when neuroscientists packed up their lab equipment and started studying memory where it actually happens, in daily life, they got a surprise. Using smartphone-based tools, researchers asked older adults to recall details about past events as they went about their day. The results? real-world memory remained much more intact than standard lab tests had suggested. In familiar contexts, with meaning and emotion attached, recollection stayed richer. The study's participants recalled whom they had met, what they had eaten, or a funny story from the previous week with clarity that controlled tests often missed. This reframes the entire conversation around aging and memory loss, suggesting that our brains are more resilient in everyday life than we previously thought. It's a more hopeful, realistic picture of growing older, one that matches personal experience far better than clinical scores. And now, a timeline-toppling discovery that rewrites the story of life on land. Millipedes were crawling across Earth's landscapes about 460 million years ago, long before any vertebrate, fish, amphibian, or early tetrapod ventured onto dry ground. A new study has finally completed the evolutionary family tree of these ancient arthropods, revealing that they beat our own distant ancestors to land by a staggering 80 million years. The research also uncovered evidence of early chemical defenses, showing that these little engineers were already armed against early predators. So the next time you spot a millipede in your garden, remember, you're looking at the descendant of the original land conqueror, a creature that set the stage for all terrestrial life that followed. Finally, a deeply human discovery that hits close to home. An international study published this week reveals that middle-aged Americans are now lonelier, more depressed, and in worse health than peers in other wealthy nations. Researchers from multiple countries compared data on thousands of adults and found that while middle adulthood in places like Sweden, Germany, or Japan is often marked by robust social ties and stable well-being, the United States shows a sharp breaking point. Growing financial strain, weaker social support networks, and chronic stress appear to be driving this decline. The consequences are not just emotional, they are linked to measurable drops in memory, physical health, and even longevity. The study is a wake-up call that midlife in America is eroding. So what can we do? It circles back to our first findings: social connection, purpose, and mental engagement are protective. The brain training and music studies showed that changing habits can influence health, the memory research taught us context matters, and the Denisovan story reminds us we are shaped by deep history. Across all these discoveries, a common thread emerges: the stories we tell about aging, nature, and even the most fundamental particles are far more flexible and surprising than we assumed. The brain can keep growing well into old age. Ecology is not a simple fairy tale. Light refuses to be broken in a vacuum, and our ancient family still walks with us in our genes. Science is rewriting the rules this week, and you just witnessed the highlights. Please subscribe for more daily science content.